welcome back to the Pen and Ink Well. So, super excited to have a look at this one. I know you've seen me get excited before, and I'm equally excited about this one. Saw the photographs about 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago. Really loved them, sort of going across Instagram. Wasn't sure if they were going to, this pen was going to come out over here, so really pleased when it did. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the Pilot Capless. Not just any Pilot Capless. I've had the Pilot Capless before, and I've had one of the limited editions. I had 2012's limited edition a few years ago. They can be a bit of a you love them or you hate them sort of pen because of the design on them. I love them. It really works really well for my grip and my hold. And I prefer the full size ones to the Decimos actually. So when I saw this, some of them before have been more masculine or have certainly been plain, but this was something else. I just love the colour on it. So I'm going to show you in more detail, but just to start you off, just have a look at it, you know, as to even how nice this looks when it comes. So this is the box. This is just the way that this comes packaged in the box. And if you have a look at this, I'll take that out and it might really help you, wouldn't it? So this is how this pen comes and arrives. So you can see that colour even just in here. Put that down at the way. So this is 2015's limited edition Pilot Capless, or the Vanishing point as it is in the US, but it's called the Capless here in the UK. It is limited edition. I don't know to how many pieces of this. This is number 260. I don't know why I just said I don't know how many pieces, because it says on here there are 2015 of them, which would make sense really, wouldn't it? And they're calling this, well, it's called Twilight, and you can see why. It's almost, it reminds me a bit of sort of like the ombre hairstyle that's sort of around at the moment, with the darker parts at the ends or the darker roots and the lighter ends, you know, one way or the other. And as pastel hair is certainly sort of out and about at the moment, then it sort of goes really well. But this is 2015's limited edition Pilot Capless Twilight. I'm going to look at it in more detail shortly, and you'll really be able to see the colour shine through on this then closer up. I'll talk you through its features if you're not familiar with the Capless, so we'll have a look at the Capless then as well in that. And we'll be back with you shortly once I turn the camera around. Thanks. Welcome back. So let's have a look closer at this Pilot Capless 2015. So this is how this arrives, in a beautiful white box like this. You can see there, it says on there, medium. This isn't actually a medium, but it did come as a medium. So this is the Pilot Capless box, and then we'll have a look inside. So it's beautifully presented right from the start. And then there's this box inside there then. Looks beautiful. And it's got, look at that, the light reflecting across there, which really represents the colours of these pens, of the pen, you know, in there. So it opens up like that, and we've got a protector on top of it. Some instructions as to how to open this box. I've already taken it comes in a plastic sleeve, which I've taken out, and here's the pen. Before I go into the pen any deeper, I want to show you something else about these boxes. So say it took me a little while, so if you then pull this down, and then look, there's this little magic drawer in there, which has an ink cartridge in, then has the adapter to use to put on top of the ink cartridge if you're going to use that rather than the converter that they come with. And that just pushes away in there. Then we take that out. They come with these, so that shows there, Pilot Capless. It reads medium. It was a medium. I understand, I think somebody said to me on Instagram that these are only coming in a medium actually. So it was very nice actually that Ross over at Pure Pens changed the nib for me and put a fine nib in there for me. So let's have a look at this in closer detail. See if I can get closer to this so you can really see it. Look at that colour. So we've got quite a sort of purple this end, and it goes into a pale blue at the top. So I'm going to go through it and show you how the mechanics of this work, as well as then looking at this as a pen. So for those of you, this is the first time you're seeing a Pilot Capless, I'm sure it isn't for most, but if it is, it's an ingenious idea actually, and extremely practical. I know a lot of people that use these as their daily pens in work because they're so convenient. And the reason they're so convenient is you're not worrying about a cap. You're not worrying about having to either unscrew a cap, which is what I prefer anyway, is a screw cap, because they're safer. But they take longer to, you know, to take on and to put off, you know, every time that you're using it, if you're writing little notes in a meeting or you're putting the cap back on. But this is easy, and it's just like having a ball pen at work. So they come like this. So the nib is hidden in here, behind this, almost like this little metal thing that's guarding the nib, so it's not drying out in there either. And then this is where people, it divides people's sort of thoughts really. You then have the clip that runs down the middle of the pen. For some, it gets in the way of their grip. For me, it doesn't. For me, it actually helps, because it helps sort of, I suppose, sort of capture my grip around it. It, you know, allows me to place my fingers in the right place. And then it tapers off a little bit slimmer down the side here, and then you get to the end then, and this is the mechanism of the Pilot Capless. So you literally just push that as you would a ballpoint pen, and there's your nib. So let's have a look. They're the tiniest little nibs. So there's the nib that's in that. So this is a fine nib. You can get medium and broad nibs as well. Most of them come with medium. Apparently this only comes in a medium. And I think actually somebody mentioned as well that the black Carbonesque only comes in a fine. But the nibs are interchangeable, and you can buy separate nibs and change them. And and that is easy. I'll show you how now that works. So these unscrew here. Let me just take that off and clip that off. So they unscrew just here. Then in there is your nib unit. So there's your two parts of the pen, and there's your nib unit, making the third. So you can just buy different ones of these. They come in black nibs, you get gold nib ones. This has got the chrome trim on it, so you know you'd have the chrome nibs. So these are 14 karat gold nibs. They're actually 18 karat gold nibs, I apologise. And you can see, so that's the whole nib there. See if I can get this. It is tiny, so I'm not sure whether it'll focus there. Pilot 18 karat, fine. And then this then, sorry, excuse me, I'm completely out of shot, getting carried away. A tiny little ink window here. So this then acts as your converter, as your cartridge converter. Then if you wanted to use cartridges instead, this comes out, your cartridge goes in with that silver protector over the top, so that when it's pushing it, it's not pushing on the cartridge. And then you simply, so when you talk, somebody asked me recently, are they difficult to clean because of the way that it's made out? No, absolutely not, because no ink gets through here. It's all contained in this. And it's just a matter of cleaning this out. The only thing I will say, the only negative I find about these is that they don't hold a ton of ink by using this little cartridge converter. It runs out fairly quickly, because as you can see, you're talking of that much ink. It's probably just about the size of a small international cartridge, I would say, worth of ink. And then it's even easy then they've got this little dimple here, which you line up on there, and it fits just in that little groove there. Fits in there. Put the end on. Don't know what's wrong there. There we go. Put the end on and screw that in. So let's have a look at this now as far as the colour of this is concerned. And the limited edition part of this. So that every year they bring out a limited edition. The last limited edition I had was 2012, which was what they called, I think it was brown marble or black marble, I can't remember. It was a brown and black marble effect pen. So this is 2015, and you can see here. So with chrome fittings, I'll go out a little bit now so you can see it. Chrome fittings at the top, and then it's this purple colour here, which blends into this blue that just on the top here. We've got the chrome around the middle there with the bands, and the chrome at the top. The clip down here, it is a functional clip as well. It's got quite a springy clip. Then if you have a look closely in that, we've got Pilot, limited edition Japan, and then you can see on here then they're numbered. 2015 of them. So that's the Pilot Capless, and that's 2015's version of it. The limited editions do command a higher price tag. The standard capless retail here in the UK at about £139 there and thereabouts. They are a gold nib, and I do think they're good value for that money. They're Pilot nibs, they're beautifully smooth nibs. I'll do a writing sample shortly so you can see that. This, however, it's an extra £100. So this is £239. It isn't cheap, I appreciate that. It really isn't a cheap pen. And I think probably what's frustrating is that they are far cheaper abroad. You know, the capless you can find on places like Amazon, but I love them. And I've bought each of mine from over here. I haven't bought them online. I have bought them online, but I've bought them online from UK retailers. From retailers I trust and know that I'm going to get a good product and a good service from them. And I don't regret buying any of them. They are very good value. For the quality of the pen that you receive, it is a gold nib pen. It is a design that isn't out there, that is convenient, and really with this one you are paying for the design of this pen. You are paying for the fact that it is limited edition, that they won't be around forever, and I think this is one of those ones that's going to become collectible because it's so different to everything else that they've done. I love it. I absolutely love it. Somebody sort of said that it's feminine. Yeah, I can understand that. It is more feminine than some of the other ones, and maybe it is more attractive to women than it might be to men. But again, it's a matter of taste. And for me, I do like it so much because it is a pretty pen. And I do like the fact that there are pretty pens out there now. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to do a quick writing sample with it, and I'll see you shortly. Welcome back. So this is the Pilot Capless, as we say here in the UK, or the Vanishing Point, as it's otherwise known. I think I prefer the name Vanishing Point actually. This is a fine nib, but it does come as standard with a medium nib. And this is Diamine Shimmertastic Blue Lightning. I really like this pink. This ink even. And I wanted to really try one of these inks out, particularly with the sparkle that's on the pen. I figured some sparkle in the ink as well would really match that. So that's how that sort of is in there. The one thing I forgot to mention when I was doing the earlier bit of this video was the weight and measurements of this pen. It is a fairly heavy pen. It's a 30-gram pen. That is filled with ink, but it's not overly heavy at all. I think, you know, it's very comfortable. If I was going to write for a long time, this would probably be the pen that I would choose to write with. Measurements, it's 140 millimeters from each end. I didn't bother measuring it with the tip out. You're talking about an extra couple of millimeters because it is only a tiny little nib, and it's 14 millimeters wide here. It is quite wide. You can get a slimmer version of this, which is called the Decimo, so it's exactly the same design, it's just a slimmer pen. I prefer this size. I did start with a decimal, but I prefer this size. It is the smoothest nib. For something that's, you know, pretty fine really. It is a smooth nib, and they all behave beautifully. I've never had an issue with any of these nibs at all. It's not dry, it's not overly wet, it's just the right flow, I would say. You know, it's a good thing. I can't say any more about it really. They call it Twilight. I understand why. I would love to be able to add this to my collection. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to afford to right now, this close to Christmas. But thank you very, very much to Pure Pens for loaning it to me to review. I'm very, very grateful. If you've got any questions about it, please ask me. If you want me to have a look at anything else, again, please ask me. Please like this video, leave a comment, and I'll see you all again shortly. And obviously please subscribe to my channel. There's a few more videos. There's a lot more videos to come actually. So have a good evening or have a good day, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.